All right, welcome. Welcome, everybody, to NorCal Sports Network. Tuesday night, September 17th. Big news of the night. Giants gained a game on the Dodgers. All right, everybody. Welcome in. Lou Marston joins us. Welcome, Lou.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, Bart.
Got the new camera. Maybe raise it up a little bit. All we can see is your. There we go. That's a little better. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. Lou testing out the new. What do we got? A new laptop. Lou, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got a new laptop or?
Nah, just new computer, new screens, new sort of a bunch of stuff. The work actually spent more than a nickel.
Oh, good.
Looks good.
Yeah, looks
Thanks.
good. Actually, a little brighter than normal.
Yeah, a little bit. I can, see how it goes.
All right. Well, hey, tonight, Blake Snell, another excellent performance. 6 strong innings, only gives up 1 hit, strikes out 12.
I'll miss him next season.
Yeah. He walked 2, and one of them it was a perfect pitch called ball 4. I don't know how you give a guy who's dealing a tight strike zone on that. I mean, it was like, come on. Am I shocked the Giants won today? No, not at all, Steven. I actually thought they would, if there was a game, they would win. Even though I didn't pick them to win tonight, I thought they might lose because I didn't think they'd score 10 runs. You know what we should have done, Bora?
What?
I thought about this after we played that premiere.
Mm-hmm.
We should have went back and edited it and said, what do you think tonight's going to happen? I said, I think Blake Snell's going to pitch 6 innings, strike out 10, 11, 12 guys, and the Giants score. I don't think the Orioles score. I think the Giants win like 8-0, and then just made it kind of like something close.
We should do that from now on. Pre-record it, then go back in after.
Edit it, yeah.
Dan, the big question is you got to remember when the Giants had their big outage, that was Snell's other performance. What are they going to do tomorrow?
Oh, they're not going to win tomorrow.
Are they going to
You'll
score
see me.
2 or 3 runs?
I guarantee you tomorrow night you're going to see that orange bird I'm going to be wearing. Okay, I'm gonna put that down as a guarantee.
Who's pitching tomorrow?
Who's pitching tomorrow? Birdsong.
Birdsong against Kremer.
Yeah, I don't care who they're pitching tomorrow. Yeah, I mean Orioles got to win. Let me see something here.
Baltimore's a big favorite. It's Kremer, Dean Kremer against Birdsong.
Okay, yeah. Dan, the Mets won tonight.
Mets won tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how about the Braves?
Braves lost.
Yeah, but the Mets are the team that we got to catch now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Mets are 2 games up on the Braves.
So we lose another game.
The Braves lost and the Mets won.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's just take a look. Tonight's game was, I figured out Matt Chapman is going on paternity leave. So congratulations to the Chapman family.
Yep.
As we wish them well. Blessings to them. I put out a tweet just a bit ago saying, good for the Chapmans and that Casey Schmidt is on his way to Baltimore. My only request is don't mess with this kid's head anymore. When Chapman comes off paternity list and comes back to the club, don't send Casey back down. Send Donovan John Boy Walton down, please. Come on. Casey's up. He's going to get to showcase himself at third base for a couple of games, probably 2, maybe 3 games. Probably 3, huh? Hopefully.
Giants go to Kansas City after, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So, if we look tonight, we take a look at what happened here in tonight's ball game at the box score. Why don't we get that put up right here? Okay, there we go.
Runners in scoring position.
Yeah, started the night off great with a, leadoff home run from his former club that he was drafted by and spent years and years in the minor leagues with Baltimore. Had a really good night. You know, what's interesting is Yaz had a great night playing in front of, the team that drafted him. And Lamont Wade Jr. is from the Maryland area.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a good night, 2 for 5, had 2 RBIs. So Fitzgerald 0 for 5, Conforto 1 for 5. I keep wanting to call the guy Rodney McRae. Grant McRae 2 for 2, 3 runs. Nice bunt that the Giants pulled off. I think that was Walton that bunted that, right? No, Wisely.
That was Wisely.
Great bunt by Wisely, by the way, and even better anticipation by Grant McRae to beat the throw home. So nice to see some small ball and bringing in runs. That's the way you got to use your speed.
Whenever they do it, the Giants have a good game.
Yeah, it's great. And then, of course, what can you say about Blake Snell here? 6 innings pitched, 1 hit. His ERA is down to 3.31. Great outing by Blake Snell. What do you guys think?
Lou, you go.
Dominating, I think, is the best word. And, you can really tell one thing about Snell is by the second and third inning, they had no clue what was coming. And, the one thing about Snell is, and this is something we got to think of, if the Giants do want to put the money out for him, I would only want maybe like a 3-year deal, maybe $105 million. He pitched 6 innings today. He was in total control, but he was already at 100 pitches. So, do you want to pay that much money for someone that maybe is only going to be going 5 or 6 innings constantly? So, but, tonight was a great performance. It was on the road. Baltimore has a great offense. They have been suffering, but probably for Baltimore, the worst thing is you get to see Snell. The best thing is Snell's now done. So they have 2 more games where they don't have to go against him.
Well, the bad thing for Baltimore is that they got to see what they could have had in Snell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, whatever the rumor was that the Giants and Orioles were talking about Blake Snell, and apparently the Orioles were reluctant to give anything of value up for Snell. I mean, could you imagine if Baltimore has had a Blake Snell right now, or if any playoff team had a Blake Snell?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
He has a 1.33 ERA since coming off the IL in July. That's just, Lou, you said it, domination. It's domination.
I mean, he was player of the month. A lot of people probably didn't know, but he was player of the month last month. And just domination. And he's in such a good flow. It's just the pitch count that sort of concerns me. But you got to remember, in April, the first time he was on DL, April and May, he was getting shellacked and everything. For him to have his ERA down to 3.31, it's sort of like the comeback player of the year of the second half.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, the pitch count for Snell, the pitch count's always going to be an issue just because he's a strikeout pitcher.
Agreed.
And he's been kind of a pitcher who can get a little wild. The walk numbers are up there. So I think the pitch count's always going to be up there. But if he can, to me, when I watch a Blake Snell start, I just look for first pitch strikes, because when he's able to get ahead, he can just attack. He doesn't have to kind of play around with his off speed and play around with the corners. He can just attack right in the zone because he has strike one. And when he's in that mode, he's really hard to hit. It is really hard to hit him. He's probably the best pitcher in the league when he's on.
Correct.
It's just it's not an issue, but it's a question mark sometimes, whether or not you're gonna get a Blake Snell that's dominant, or you're gonna get a Blake Snell that is still pretty good, but pitches 5 innings, couple hits, couple runs, and the strikeouts are still up there. It's just with the pitch count, it's all about getting strike one.
Yeah, while you guys are looking at that, I'm looking at my standings, live standings of my fantasy league. Gosh,
and then Bora, what do you think about seeing Slater on the other side? That was sort of fun,
that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't care less about Slater.
Of course.
Yeah, I can't believe Slater's still in the league.
Right.
I mean, the Baltimore Orioles sitting right up there in second place behind the Yankees. As you see the hat, what's going on? Austin Slater leading off, unbelievable. I don't know what he's doing.
Great,
Dan. Could you pull up that box score real quick up again?
Sure.
And then, by the way, you guys forgot the 2 steals by McCray.
Oh, that's right. 2 steals for McCray. You're right. Box score.
It's so uncommon with us. I got to bring it up.
What do you want to see in the?
Go to the lineup. Go to the Giants lineup.
Okay.
Look at the on base percentage. I mean, Yaz is having a good year OPS and OPS plus wise, but I mean the batting average is at 237 and the on base is at 312.
That's
Tyler
bad.
Fitzgerald, we know he's having a good year. We know who Lamont Wade is. Lamont Wade is going to get on base. Elliot Ramos down to 319. Michael Conforto's at 302. Patrick Bailey's at 297. Grant McCrae's at 280. Donovan Walton has
Walton.
5 at bats.
Yeah, forget him.
And Brett Wiley's at 268. The reason why this Giants team cannot produce offensively is because they just don't get on base consistently. And you can look at let's look at what Slater's at 318. I mean, he's not having a good year either. I think
who's starting to struggle. They're starting to struggle. Rushman's had a rough 2 or 3 month period.
He has. He's really had.
Catching is brutal, man. That's what makes Buster stats being a 300 lifetime hitter all the more amazing. Catching is rough. And you think about Buster getting run over in 2011 and having to, and then he had his hip issues. Think that he had a hip torn labrum and had to have some surgery there and comes back and hits 330 or 300 in his final year. Pretty amazing. Then hits that opposite field home run that would have been in the water. Would have been in the water, but it hit the stinking tower.
Do you think McCovy Cove Dave would have given it back to Buster?
We could get into that. I've invited McCovy Cove Dave on. Haven't heard back, but I would. What do you think of that, guys? What do you think of I was all for Dave until he made the comment that Ramos hasn't earned it.
I read that article, but whoever it was, like SF Gate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a weird article. There were some weird quotes, and I don't know if the quotes were taken out of context or whatnot. Because I mean, it's an article. You never know what happens. But I mean, for him to say that Ramos hasn't earned it, to me is a little weird, because Ramos is Puerto Rican. He's and it was on Roberto Clemente Day, so it was kind of special for him. And
exactly. And it was Orlando Cepeda honoring Cepeda, and he's Puerto Rican.
Exactly. So I think the whole situation is a little weird. But I'm not gonna
call no race card or anything like that.
Dan, speaking of him, did you happen to see what I texted you earlier regarding the Atlanta Braves and the ball that he had?
Oh, yeah, with Michael Harris.
Yeah, so he just came back. It was his first Grand Slam. I don't know if you know about this, Para. And he basically got the ball, and the Braves said, hey, we'd like the ball back since, Harris just got off a huge injury. First game back, hit a Grand Slam. So he asked the Giants. He goes, hey, I've always helped the Giants out, but all I'd ask is, can you give me a parking spot where
a discount.
Where the employees park. That's all I'm asking, and they can have the ball. And the Giants said no. So I don't know if he's given the ball back. It was the first time I saw it. That's why I text you, Dan. But, I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does for a living. maybe he's out there because
Boy,
he's out there a lot. So
the tide's turned on him. A lot of people are turning on him.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea that he said Ramos hasn't earned it. Because Ramos is a sweetheart of a guy. You guys have heard my interview with Ramos, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Elliot's a great kid. I love him, man. I'm rooting
He's
hard
had to
for
work
him.
for the position he's at today.
Right. Ramos has had to work hard for it, and to say that he hasn't earned it is ridiculous. And that he said he would give the ball to
Hunter Pence.
Bryce Eldridge's first home run.
Bryce Eldridge.
Bryce acknowledged me. This guy sounds a little bit, well, maybe he'll come on here and we'll let him
see. There's always two sides to every story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would love to get his side of the story. I mean, the thing about it to me is, why can't the Giants say, you know what, Dave, any meaningful ball that we get that we would like, we'll give you the parking, but in the future, if you hold one back, we'll revoke it. Why can't they? I mean, why can't they help him out in a sense? Offering the dude a bat and a ball, big deal.
And he's probably already gotten that from all the other balls.
Yeah. I mean, my understanding was he asked for an Orange Friday jersey, it said in the article.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the Giants said no. Now, come on. If that's true, that's ridiculous on the Giants' part.
That's typical Giants management.
Yeah, he asked for an orange jersey, and they said no. So I can understand in some ways he's a little disgruntled, as I am, as a season ticket holder, when I buy season tickets and, I buy them for, let's say it's valued at $75 for that game. And I'm trying to sell them for just to get 50 for them. And I can't, no one's biting because the Giants are selling tickets for $5. So, I'm losing money, and yet they want my money up front in September, October, and then they go and undersell me.
Yeah.
Then I can't sell the tickets on StubHub. I couldn't get rid. I had to sell some tickets for $10.
Yeah. I'm going through that the last 2 years, Dan.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. What and yet you say we're the backbone of the, we're the ones that, support the club, and, we're the ones in many ways that helps them set what they do in the off season by renewing. How many people renew? Okay, we got this much revenue coming in. It's already paid for. It's committed.
Giants baseball, nothing like it.
So I get it that they're cheap asses.
Yeah.
But let's, I'd love to get Dave on here, have him hear his side of the story. But, to me, an historic ball like that is the Giants should be able to either come up with some type of parking, a jersey. What is it you want, Dave? Well, maybe he'll take $1,000 or $2,000. I think it's worth it for the player to have the ball.
I think if Elliot Ramos wants it enough, he'll get it eventually. But I mean, it's also Davis.
And how do we know when he gives the ball if that's really the ball at that point?
I was just thinking that. I think baseballs, I think, are microchipped or something. They have some lettering on it
Yeah, I think they only do that during the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah, and when there's like a no-hitter or a perfect game, they start marking the balls at the end. Special initials just in case.
But I mean, it is Dave's right to just say, know what, I don't want to give this up, I'll keep it. But that's his right. But the comment saying that Elliot hasn't earned it, that's a little extra, and that didn't, to me, that doesn't need to be said. You can just say, I want to keep it, it's my right.
Yeah, we'll have to, maybe one of these shows we'll probably look up the craziest things you've had to give up for something. I've seen him give up jerseys, a bat, like Ohtani's for that homer that went almost out of the stadium. They offered the guy, hey, we'll give you 2 tickets in the bleachers for the rest of the season and a bat and a photo. Sort of crazy because there's probably some crazy things that you had, Dan, in our time, we really never thought of that, but there are probably some crazy stuff that has been given out.
Hey, guys, just a little take on Bryce Eldridge. He singled tonight in his first home game at Sacramento. That was pretty cool. But for all those people that think Bryce Eldridge is coming up to the Giants this year, I got news for you. Not happening. You probably shouldn't be saying that, especially even if maybe you have your own microphone that you're spouting that off into. If you think Bryce Eldridge is coming up, you probably shouldn't have a microphone, because let me tell you this.
When does Sacramento end?
This week.
This weekend. Okay. So
this weekend. So Bryce Eldridge is not coming up for the final week. How silly that is. Let me tell you something, guys. If Bryce Eldridge were to come up to the Giants for the final week of the season, 2 things happen. One, they have to put him on the 40-man roster. Okay? That means he's on the 40 next year when he's not starting the season, and that's
a debate. That's another debate.
He could
like $20 on it. I was
look if he earns it in the spring training, he goes to Arizona Fall League, comes in spring training, earns it, then you can put him on the 40. But there's no need to put him on the 40 for a week, because do you know what you have to do is that means someone else goes off the 40, and you've wasted that spot when you may not need it right now. Bryce Eldridge, let's say he comes up in August, September. I don't think he comes up until late in the season after there's less than 40 games left, because then he doesn't lose his rookie status. If the Giants believe they can contend and he's ready to start the season, that's a different story in next year. But he's not coming up for a week, because if you put him on the 40-man roster, you can never take him off without subjecting him to waivers.
Yeah.
Okay. If he's going to come off the roster. So they're not wasting a spot for 6 home games. Okay.
Dan, where do you think Eldridge starts next year, Dan? Do you think he starts in AA or AAA? Because I mean, he didn't get a lot of reps.
I think he starts in AA.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a quick ascension to AAA after 2 months. If he tears it up in 2 months, I listened to Giants Postgame afterwards, and I agree, Matthew. There's some kooks that think he's coming up next week, though. But here's the thing with AA. You don't want to push a guy so fast that this is what I heard Alex Pavlovich say. And I wish I could go back and get exact words he said, because I thought it was pretty interesting. He said, you don't want to rush a guy to maybe put a few feathers in someone's cap. Interesting. Another little shot at Farhan, because we all know that Farhan may be trying to save his job. I think Farhan. Let's talk about Farhan, guys. You want to talk about Farhan? We don't need to talk about the Giants.
Dan, you heard about Farhan, right? That he's only worked 2 days in the last month. He's been in the hospital.
I did. We did a little show on that, Laura and I, earlier. Sorry. We just aired it at 7, and we talked about him being in the hospital. We wish him well. We don't want to see anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, of course not.
We're not
assholes.
Yeah, we may dislike the job he's doing, but we don't wish any person ill will. That's horrible. So we hope Farhan has a full, healthy recovery, and whatever it is that caused him to go in the hospital, we pray for a full recovery. Okay. Yeah, exactly. We're not asses. We're not going to be.
Lou, you said he's only worked 2 days?
3 days in the last month.
Where'd you hear that?
So I heard the interview with Susan Sussinger.
Uh-huh.
And she basically says, yeah, everybody knew it around the Giants. Well, let me put it this way. He's only been in the office. And one of the days he was there was, of course, when they signed Kratman.
Mhm.
But they also, one of the things Susan came up, which is something that I wanted to talk about for the last 3 or 4 days, especially the chat in the public, it sounded like, unless you hear the full story, that Buster was involved in the signing of Kratman, which is completely wrong. First of all, if you're an owner, you're not allowed to talk to someone until they're signed, which, I was sort of unaware of. About all these rules. And Susan said what happened is
No. I think it's if you're a GM or Pope. I heard no.
I heard if you're an owner, you're allowed to talk to the player, but if you're a GM, you're
Okay.
not allowed to have any contact with the player.
Yeah, only the agent. Yeah,
only the agent. Okay, well, basically Susan said the way Buster was involved is the deal should have been done 2 weeks ago. So Buster basically texted him and said, listen, if we throw in the no trade clause, will that get it done? Because Farhan did not want to include it. So Buster went over his head and says, hey, we'll include it if we can get it done right now. I want you. Let's do it. And it was agreed on. The next day it was done. So,
right.
That's how it was. It wasn't like Buster sat down face to face. Hey, I'm taking the role of Farhan. That's not how it was. That's how it sort of come across.
Right. And all these people are talking about now, Lou, is everybody's Farhan's going to take over. I mean, Buster's going to take over president of baseball.
And the other thing is Susan said, and what Dan brought up last night is, do you guys realize being a GM, and if you saw the movie, with Brad Pitt, it's a full year, 365 days. It happens. You're working. Buster with his family, he moved out here, but he doesn't want to be away from his family, his adopted kids for 365 days. It's the same thing like where, we all talk about hitting coaches and people go, oh, we should get Bonds. Bonds did it for 1 year in Florida and he hated it because they're long days. You don't make as much money. You're under extreme pressure because you now are dealing with 26 egos. It's a bad job. It's not a great job.
No, there's no way. There's no way Buster's taking
that.
Buster's not taking that role on. There's no way.
That and Soto, let's put behind us, guys. We got to move forward.
Soto's a different conversation though, because I was just thinking about the Chapman contract. 6 years doesn't make any sense. I don't know if he would have gotten 6 years if he would have tested free agency, because I don't know if a team would be that stupid to sign him to 6 years. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think this Giants ownership and this Giants team is kind of ready to go all in on a player. They missed out on Stanton. They missed out on Harper. They missed out on Judge. They missed out on Ohtani. They've missed out on so many superstars. I could see them going all in on a Juan Soto. And the reason why I backtracked to the Matt Chapman for 6 years is he's what, 31?
Yeah, he'll be 32 next opening day.
He'll be 37, right? When
it's over 30. Yep, 32.
He's probably done by 35. So the last 2 years of that contract is pretty much just eating money. At that point.
Yep.
That tells me that the Giants could be going for it within the next 4 years with the prime of Matt Chapman's contract, the next 4 years. And I can only see a Juan Soto type player as kind of going for it. I don't see any other player kind of available.
This is why you bring in Brian Sabian, who's with the Yankees right now, and Ned Coletti, as we discussed in our show discussing Farhan at 7:00. Let them run the show for 2 years. Let them train the next person that they can handpick and trade. So, let me just make this comment, and then we'll get to this. A couple of your other comments in the chat. Zaidi continued to work despite being hospitalized twice in recent weeks with an undisclosed ailment. Far from the hospital, he conducted business as usual, including negotiating Matt Chapman's new contract. So hopefully, Farhan, whatever it is, he's doing well. Hopefully, it's not something to do with stress. One thing he might do, if the Giants tell them he's going to be relieved, the Giants could actually have him save face by saying some of his undisclosed medical he's going to need to take time away and stepping away from the game for a while, and then he'll maybe they can work out a deal where he comes back with the organization and helps out with the analytics department, but something along that nature, but this thing with Soto, guys, has me a little intrigued. Why I don't think they'll get him is because the only shot they have is if Farhan's gone. Okay. If Farhan's leading the negotiations, forget it. If he's your contact man, if he's your spokesperson, he's an embarrassment to the organization. Now you get a Brian Sabian and Ned Colletti out there speaking to the media and negotiating with Scott Boras. And to me, the ownership can look at it like this. Here's where they can get Soto. Only way they get Soto. Hear me out. They look at this and they go, okay, we lost out on Harper. Stanton didn't want to come here. He nixed the trade. We lost out on Harper then. Then we lost out on Judge. And then we lost out on Ohtani. And you were and you played it like you were in it, okay, all the way. And you got used in all circumstances. Okay. The way you get Juan Soto is you get rid of Farhan. You go out and you hire people that know how to negotiate, and you jack up the price so high because you realize that you're going to be the richest team in baseball in 10 years. And with the A's moving out of the market and the amount of ownership they're going to have of all of California and all that land, then what you do is you pay Soto $100 million minimum, more than whatever the other nearest bidder is. And if he's not, still not enough, maybe you go a little higher, because you will make it up in terms of two ways. One, you'll have revenue. Everybody will be a Soto jersey. Two, he's going to attract another star. Okay. And now you have the two stars, and then you have Chapman, then you have Ramos. And I'm not 100% sold that Tyler Fitzgerald is the guy.
Tyler Fitzgerald has tools, though, and he's an exciting player.
Tools. He's an exciting player. He has tools, and he needs to learn to hit the off-speed pitch. But I don't think Tyler Fitzgerald should have a position. I think Willie Adames should be your shortstop, and I think you find a second baseman through a trade. Tyler Fitzgerald, to me, is a guy who should give everybody a day off around the diamond and let him play 5 days a week, and he can play 5 different positions, whether he takes a day off at shortstop for somebody, plays second for somebody, plays center for, move him around. And if he's hitting while you're giving him 5 days a week playing time, if he's hitting, you keep doing it and you let him get that rhythm until he goes into a 2 for 30, 2 for 40 type streak. Then he has to sit for a few days and earn it back. But he's not, to me, does not seem like the guy that should have a position nailed down with his name on it every day. I like the idea of using him as Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor never had a position with the Dodgers, but he played every meaningful game, didn't he? Somewhere. Whether it was left field, center field, shortstop, third base, second base, they moved Chris Taylor around because he was an asset. He was the guy that could hit for power at times. He was the guy that could get a clutch hit. He was the guy that could steal you bases. That's what I believe the role Tyler Fitzgerald should have.
Dan, I'm not.
Look at this. Matthew says, wait a minute.
Just thinking.
Wait a minute. Matthew says something here. Matthew, is this what you're saying? Hold on. We got this right here. Why is that not popping up?
I'll pop it up.
Where did it go? It got stuck in there.
Stop.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, that's why it was in. Juan Soto is really 28 or 29. That matches Matthew's comment right here. Look at that. He may be right. He may be right.
Bora, what were you going to say?
About Tyler Fitzgerald, I think he's shown enough this year defensively for the Giants to give him some look at shortstop in the offseason and spring training to be their starting shortstop. But Dan, I agree with you. If he doesn't show enough improvement, because he isn't a great defensive shortstop right now, as it is. He's athletic, he has tools, he has a decent arm, but he's not the Brandon Crawford type fielder. He's not an elite fielder. If he comes into camp and into spring training and shows that he can be the shortstop of the future, then I would be against him in the Chris Taylor role. But if he comes into spring training or in the offseason, whatever, and he isn't showing improvement at shortstop, if he's kind of just this below average to average defender, then I would consider the Chris Taylor role, because I think shortstop is the most important position defensively on a baseball diamond. The shortstop is the captain of the infield. It's the captain of the team, pretty much. The shortstop is the most important defensive position on the field. If you don't have that nailed down, you're going to be in trouble. I mean, we saw it this year. It was going to be Luciano. It obviously wasn't Luciano. Then it was Nick Ahmed. Then it was Casey Schmidt. Then it was Brett Wisely. Now it's Tyler Fitzgerald. They've had abundance of shortstops this year. You need to solidify this spot. Whether it's a Tyler Fitzgerald, whether it's a Willy Adames, whoever, you need to solidify that position. So if it's Tyler Fitzgerald, great. If it's not Tyler Fitzgerald, then I'm all for a Willy Adames. Because Dan and Lou, do you guys know how many RBIs Willy Adames has this year? Take a guess.
I can check. I think
don't check. No, don't check. Just
I think it's over 100. Isn't it? It's over 100. I'd say.
Lou, what are you saying?
I said 68.
I say 105.
109.
109.
He has 109 RBIs. That's someone you want on your team.
That's more than our whole starting lineup.
Exactly. That you want someone who can drive in runs.
Of course.
Yes. That's why I want
contact hitter.
That's why, to me, the centerpiece of the number one free agent they can go get.
But do you think you don't think he's gonna get re-signed?
By Milwaukee, I think he's gonna. You know who I think is gonna sign him?
The Dodgers.
Who needs a shortstop? Like
the
Dodgers. Yeah, I think he signs with the Dodgers, and I think Max Fried signs with the Dodgers, and I think Clayton Kershaw retires. That's 18, 20 million gone right there. And there's no salary cap in baseball. I think at some point the Dodgers could go crazy and force a salary cap in baseball if they go nuts and sign too many people.
Are the Giants
two things, Bora, I wanted to bring up the Fitzgerald. Because a lot of times you got to remember he came out like a gangbuster. But when these guys come up the first year, this is the most baseball they played. You know, you got to give the guy a break. And I think you bring up a good point, is find out if he is our shortstop. If not, find out where he could play.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced he's not your shortstop.
And he's going to only get better. You know, it's first year up. Look at all these guys first year up. They all fade in the second half. The other thing I want to
he had a double play tonight.
I know. He's been slumping.
He had a double play. No, he had a double play in the field.
Okay.
All he had to do is step on the bag and throw it to first with, his momentum going. Instead, he lobs it. He's 2 steps away from first. All he had to do is step on the bag. As he's stepping on the bag, his arm's cocked and he releases it. Easy double play.
That's how the Giants defense have been the last 3 weeks. Have been horrible.
They get the double play, but then they review it. and he's ruled safe. So that costs Snell, another.
Yeah, but that comes with reps, though. Like playing the shortstop
coaching.
position.
He's been playing shortstop in the minors too. So I just don't think. I think he's adequate. Don't get me wrong. I think he's an adequate shortstop, but he's not going to be in the elite defensively. And I want me a Willie Adames, a guy that's going to play out there. Giants need to just go after these guys. Probably forget going after Juan Soto and go put the money into Willie Adames and an outfielder like, I don't know who the outfielders are besides Teoscar Hernandez and Santander. And I'm not so crazy about Santander because I think he's having a fluke type season and he's not going to be able to keep it up.
I'm not crazy about him because he's not your stereotypical contact hitter. He's a power hitter, and I don't know how much that's gonna translate to Oracle.
Hey Dan, well you might as well go to the super chat, and then I just wanted to bring something up about Farhan, what Susan said today.
All right,
Charlie Sinclair.
He's sort of a new guy. He's been doing some super chats, Bora.
So Bob Melvin's bone of contention with the Padres was because they weren't giving him enough analytic data. What a joke. He wanted Farhan, loser too. I don't know. I didn't know about that as far as the data, but if that's true, that's pretty rough.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, and Robert Brown says he agrees with me. Yeah, I've watched it Fitz enough to know that he just doesn't look to me like a fluid shortstop. And his arm, like you say, isn't that, as Robert says, isn't that strong for a shortstop. I think they've got to go find a shortstop, an everyday shortstop and Willie Adames would be perfect. He's a free agent.
Willie Adames has also played in 151 games.
Exactly. So. I wonder something about this. Think about Adames and Chapman. They both play a lot of games. They're both excellent out in the field. Adames, a little bit more with the bat. If you can go find, you got Jung-Hoo Lee coming back, you need to go find another guy that makes contact, whether that's through a trade. You've got some pieces that you could trade.
I would love to see the Giants sign Donovan Solano again.
Yeah, and how about Matos? He has a low strikeout rate. Why doesn't he get to play? Matos was striking out at about 10% rate, and they go with all the guys that strike out over 20%. If you would have just let Matos play this year out. See, I told you guys, or not you guys, I'm talking to the Giants. I told the Giants, but I did tell the guys in the chat, the Giants are going to go nowhere this year. And I said they were going nowhere last year. Go ahead and play the young guys because this is the time to play them because they're not going to, you're not losing anything by playing these guys. You're not making the playoffs either year. And what do? They go with these washed up vets. And I agree with George Curry. Trade for Kyle Tucker. He's in the last year of his contract. He's a guy that you can build around as well. How about Kyle? I'd rather have Kyle Tucker, I think, than Juan Soto because he's going to be cheaper. And Tucker is more of an all-around player. He's younger.
I love Kyle Tucker.
He's about the same age, isn't he? Maybe he's a little older than
I think
Soto.
He's older. I think he's 28 or something.
Tell me how Soto is 25. Come on.
Okay. Kyle Tucker's 27. He turns 28 in January.
Yeah, can you put up Kyle Tucker's face and Soto, and I bet you got the bags under the wrinkles are under.
You love saying that.
I just don't see how Soto's 20.
He's not an average human being.
He doesn't even look 25 to me.
So Dan, they bought up on Susan's thing today on KNBR. They bought up another thing, and she about a month ago said Farhan is 100% coming back. She now thinks Farhan is going to come back, but in a different role, not the president of operations. And apparently, Melvin's guy is Bill Evans. Are you familiar with the name?
Bill Evans. No, but I'll look him up. While I look him up, thank you, Charlie. He says just Google it.
So she thinks he's going to be the GM. Farhan interviewed him twice, didn't accept them, but when Farhan steps down, that's Melvin's buddy.
Can you look that up on the comments that Charlie's talking about? Bora?
What, Bob Melvin?
No, on the Melvin about about the analytics and stuff.
Yeah.
And I will look up Bob. What was his name, Lou? Bob
I'm
Evans?
pretty sure it was Bill Evans.
Oh, Bill Evans. We had a Bobby Evans. We had him on the show. Bill Evans
from Sacramento.
What is he? I got a Bill Evans. Is he the jazz pianist and composer? No. Is that what we're looking for now?
No, Bill Evans.
Bill Evans, MLB. Was he? Did he play? Did he have a role anywhere in?
No, but she said he's the guy. Let me just double check. She is the guy that thinks, because the name that came up was your two guys. And she said one isn't going to leave New York. He wants to stay there with his son. So we knew who that is. And she said the other one loves teaching. She just doesn't see him coming back for a short time. Oh, Billy Owens. What did I say? Oh, I said Evans. Sorry. Billy Owens.
Well, let me tell you.
My fault. I don't write everything down when I'm driving. I just try to concentrate on the road in San Francisco.
Susan doesn't know what she's talking about. I can tell you that.
Susan said, yeah, it's Billy Owens. Most likely, it's Melvin's guy.
Billy Owens. What, baseball, MLB? Has he played? Has he done anything?
No, he's from the A's originally. So Melvin knew him when he was with the A's.
Billy Owens, Oakland A's. Okay. Oh, he played baseball too, maybe, huh? A long tenure in the. Okay, here we go. I found something on him.
All right.
All right. Let's
also, before you do that, the Bob Melvin thing, it was just a quote that he wasn't happy with the accessibility to analytics that he had in Oakland, because Farhan was there in Oakland. So he had a lot of accessibility to the analytics in Oakland that he didn't have in San Diego.
Interesting. Well, let's pull up Billy Owens.
Yeah, so apparently,
and let's read about it.
Interviewed twice to be like a scout or something, and Susan said no. Melvin, if Farhan's not here, that's who he wants. I don't know why Melvin has so much power.
It seems like it. I'm telling you, he's talked to Buster. Okay. Billy Owens enjoys silver anniversary season. What is that? 25 years then, right? With the A's.
And with them going to Vegas, he's not renegotiated to join them, basically.
All right, let's read this article here. Prior to his current role as assistant GM and director of player personnel, Owens 51. This was written in 23, so he's 52. Spent 5 seasons as the A's minor league hitting instructor. Oh, because he did play ball too. That's right. A Posey started in 99. By 2003, Owens was an area scout, and soon afterward, he was promoted to East Coast scouting coordinator. Okay, been blessed to a great opportunity to get a deal. Okay, I'm just scanning what you guys are scanning. Owens' current responsibilities include providing input and recommendations. Okay, are we trying to become the Oakland A's or what? I mean,
Chapman, Canna, Melvin, Owens.
Yeah. Wasn't Sean Murphy with the A's too? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know much about him. He looks like he's got a pretty good pedigree.
Yeah, this is the first I've heard of him. So
he's a native of San Jose. That's he's from the area.
That's great. That does us a lot of good.
Yeah,
everybody else from the area.
Follow Baker. He's got some front office experience. I don't know if that means.
What's his title right now? Does he have a title?
Prior to assistant general manager. Assistant general manager. Okay, so he's kind of like the he would be equivalent to the guy underneath Pete Patulia. That's right. Philip Coppola says Marty Lurie talked about it 3 weeks ago. That's right. Okay, you know what? Giovanni, guess what? I'm just going to put you in a timeout. How's that?
Showed up hard. Come on, Giovanni. Where have they been
Giovanni,
last week?
Giovanni, do you mind if I just put you in a timeout, or should I just ignore you?
Just ignore him. Let him spiel.
Gosh.
He's such
a troll.
You bring up a good point though, because it a lot of the things that are being said in the media and Slusser, it's kind of looking like Farhan's out, and I think he's out. Dan, I know you think he's out.
I think he's out.
But he still has next year guaranteed. That's why they put him in a different role. And then now they're talking about his health. You know, maybe it's
I mean, whatever it is, he's not going to be back as the president of baseball operations. That's what I think.
I think they have to save face from themselves. They would be an embarrassment to bring him back with all the talk and everything that's happened nationally. There's the whole Chapman signing. It feels like that they're trying to, yes, he helped negotiate. He got the deal done, and Buster maybe got the final piece. But the fact that it's being publicized the way it's being publicized, exactly. Who's putting that out? The Giants are leaking that information. People,
of course,
exactly.
Nobody gets that information without it being leaked. Okay,
of course. I mean,
we had Alex's thing, and then now John Shea and Susan did another one, and right. These are Giants homers, you know, and it's the same thing. The Giants probably put out that Buster negotiated the deal and got it done just to help the season ticket holders and Giant fans. Oh my God, Buster's actually doing something. And what's funny is the only time he's done any kind of interview or press conference was at a golf event.
Yeah,
Monday after the signing, and he said, yeah, I think it's a good signing. That was it.
Right.
Going back to what I was going to say about Melvin, though, it seems like Melvin is being kind of put in a position of power, and it's kind of looking like he might be coming back next year. Dan, you've said it. You think that Melvin's talking to ownership and talking to Posey about how he's not able to manage the way he wants to manage.
I 100% believe that, just by his comments where it came out in the article that it's been his toughest year. He's been very disappointed, frustrated. He made comments to the fact that he hasn't gone with his gut when he feels like he should have gone with his gut, but he went to the analytics. Mm-hmm. Look, he's a former catcher. Buster's a former catcher. We know players talk. They're in the same organization. There's great respect between the two. Farhan's not a baseball. He's not privy to that baseball circle of players. You know, there's a sorority of players that means something. And he could go to Buster and say, I can't deal with this. I can't take this, you know. Maybe he's right. Maybe Charlie's right here. He says he's a Padres fan. Melvin's a snake. Maybe he is. Maybe he's that kind of guy that's out there just looking to save himself. I don't know.
To me, I don't think so. I've listened to Melvin's interviews and watched him. He takes responsibility. So I think
he does.
I think to me, all these articles coming up, all the media talk around Farhan, I'm pretty sure Farhan's gone. It's also making me think that Melvin's back, which is really interesting because you don't normally see a manager stay around when a GM or president of baseball operations gets fired. You kind of see them.
He puts his own guy in.
Exactly. You kind of see them clear house. You see the GM being brought in first, and the GM handpicks his guy to be put into the managerial spot. This makes it seem
would make all the sense in the world.
I'm trying to Farhan one more year
with Billy Owens.
Exactly, with Billy Owens, because Bob Melvin knows him. Now, I don't know if he would be the top guy because he's the assistant GM, so you could give him a promotion to just be the GM, and then you could hire a new president of baseball operations. But I think the Billy Owens thing is really interesting because he has a relationship
All right,
with
guys,
Melvin.
I'm done for the day. I came up with a winner. Thanks.
Hey, look who's up right now.
Eldridge.
Yeah.
These are the Giants we're talking about. Let's make sure he can get here healthy. Knowing the Giants with all their injuries, anything's possible with this guy.
Look at that, Bryce Eldridge right there. Come on, quit.
My God, we're making this guy like he's Harper. The guy hasn't had one at bat yet in the major leagues.
Hey, I don't want text.
Let him grow.
I'm on.
When I watch an Eldridge at bat, I'm looking at the at bat quality, not just the outcome.
Yeah, it's like a mad bum batting left-handed. I mean, he's so tall.
He's huge.
With the beard.
You know, they have him listed as 6'7", but if you listen to one of his interviews, he says he's 6'8".
Trying to get this straight.
I mean, like a mad bum, early mad bum with the beard.
Can you guys see that good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Let me take my name down. How can I take my name down? It's in the way.
Did he walk? Nope.
He walked.
Yep. All right.
Walk.
He just looks like a professional hitter. And if you're gonna go after Soto, Bryce Eldridge is the one guy in your organization that you could market. You could really market him because if you market him correctly, you could market him as the future star of this team, as the future MVP, future guy who hits 40 home runs. People want to play with those type of guys.
Yeah, and he's so because I looked him up today, and they showed how much they paid him for everything coming out, bonuses.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
What?
Charlie Sinclair, the owner of the Padres, died last year, and Charlie is saying he wanted Preller fired before. I know there was a clash
disconnect.
I do remember hearing something about that
between Melvin and Preller, and then it looked like the season ended. They were going to keep Melvin. They didn't actually let him go, and then the Giants found out he was free to interview, and they, hey guys. When somebody, let me just tell you how this works. When somebody asks for an interview and they freely give you the interview, what does that tell you?
It tells you that they don't want him.
They don't want him. When the Giants asked to interview Farhan, Dodgers were like, "Oh yeah, baby,
take him."
Oh yeah. Would you like would you like us to fly him up there for you and move his belongings?
We'll pay for his house too.
Yeah. Oh man. Rob C says, does he play a solid first base, Eldridge? I don't think yet he does. I think he's got to learn the position. I think which
he will. He will.
Yeah. I mean, he was athletic enough to pitch and hit. So he's
first base isn't hard to play.
Yeah. And you know what? Dave King, 6'7", 6'8", nice target over there.
Yeah, Kingman.
You have Eldridge at 6'8", and then you had Donovan Solano at 5'8", playing first the other day for the Padres.
Oh. Yeah, Mays, Cepeda, and McCovey never platooned. Nobody's platooned any more than like Farhan's deal. I do like Alex Pavlovich's comment tonight, though, when he said about don't rush him as though you're trying to get a feather in your cap.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday.
I heard him say it tonight on the post game. I thought that was kind of interesting. Unless that might have been taped, though. You know what? Maybe that was yesterday because he was with Cole Kuiper. So that was taped.
The Giants talk or whatever.
Yeah, interesting. They put that Giants talk, which is a podcast, put it on NBC Sports Bay Area.
Guys, Farhan's gone.
Yeah. Why are they putting that on NBC Sports Bay Area so that can be heard?
Why are the reports coming out that Farhan's been in the hospital and has been hospitalized? Why is that coming out? Normally you wouldn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, it would be hush hush.
Exactly. The whole point that's coming out is giving the Giants.
I mean, you got in the last month, you probably had 15 stories about Farhan.
Yeah,
Either it's an excuse to keep him or an excuse he's not coming back.
The focus is on Farhan, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? I mean, there's just too much noise. And then even tonight, they said, I don't know if it was Laura Britt or Alex. They said, might have been, trying to remember who said it. They were talking about. They said it'll be an interesting final 2 weeks of the season. You know, whether there's too much, you know. They were talking about the negotiations, Sean Estes, Rich Aurelia, about Buster, and they were basically coming up and saying that, you know, what Buster did shouldn't have any bearing on what Farhan did or didn't do. You know, they weren't like coming down on Farhan. They said, you know, maybe the owner just got involved. You know, Posey as an owner, just maybe it was as simple as, what's the hang up? Is it the 6-year? Is it the guarantee no trade? Okay, let me see about the no trade. And that might have been it. Who knows? But no one's going to come out and say on the flagship station that he's gone. But the fact that they're talking about it and it's being like the top story around the Giants right now, it's obviously nothing to do with what they do on the field. It's a curiosity that is been put out there by the Giants to get it out there so that when, you know, they're testing the waters, so to speak, what's the response like? And they should know, but I think it's coming. And I think what you said, Lou, about the health situation, and maybe they want to reposition him somewhere within the organization. You know what? They absolutely can reposition him because he's under contract. Right?
Is that what happened with Bobby Evans? Because they fired Bobby Evans, but then he did go into an unannounced role with the Giants.
Yeah.
Is that what they did last time?
Maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that when you're under contract with a club, they can just, unless the contract reads, there's language in there that says if he's let go, does not have to remain in the organization and still gets paid. But my guess is he's an employee of the Giants. He's under contract, and they can reposition or retitle what they do with him. Yeah, so I think he's gone. So I think it'll be a good day for San Francisco Giants organization and fans. The question is, do they go the route what Melvin's suggesting and they go that route? I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't go with somebody who's had success within the organization. Look, I know Brian's gone and it was a difficult parting in some ways, but I think things can be made right if people within the Giants were to say, you know what, we were wrong. We should have never let you go. We thought we were making a direction, and we realize you are, you know, what we had. We you know, you made the Giants. We want to bring you back. You know, again, him and Ned would be dynamic. They worked well together. They're good friends. They know how to work together. They're not too old. They know the game. They know people within the game. And
Brian Sabian's still in the game. He's
Yep.
an executive assistant to the Yankees.
Yep. Robert Brown says, how will we celebrate Farhan's departure? Well, we'll have a nice show.
We won't be the only ones.
No, it'll be all over. Everybody will do a show, but you know, it'll be. It's pretty sad that the Giants have let it go this far. Their perfect opportunity was last year. Perfect opportunity was last year to let go of Kapler and Farhan and start over and bring in a fresh new organization. And they got Melvin. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. I mean,
hey, Dan, I just wanted to bring up one more point, how you were talking about the gibberish of the contract. Wasn't that what we found out last week?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when they were saying people thought Melvin and Farhan got an extension for 3 years, and now it turns out it's not. They're actually only guaranteed for next year because of the gibberish. And then when they asked Farhan, he goes, yeah, well, there's different things they put in, but we'll talk about it later. Do you remember that article that came out?
Farhan has been a guy you cannot trust what he says because nothing
I agree.
Ever said has been accurate. Elston Gunn says Melvin is a place sitter. He might be right. Melvin might be here just for another year or two. I don't see Melvin being a long-term guy, 5, 6. I don't know. I think the Giants are, depending on who they bring in after Farhan, is going to mean the world of. It's going to be critical who they bring in. I would bring in somebody who's personally had baseball success in the position. I would not want to mess with another guy who has at the lower level moved up to a level where he's done some of the things. I want somebody who's got, one of the things I was impressed with Billy Owens is that he was a scout and he did play the game. So to me, that's impressive. I don't want no computer geeks anymore. Don't give me some computer geek.
We've seen that. That experiment has utterly failed.
Yeah. So Robert Brown performance clauses could definitely affect Farhan's contract. I think he's run. I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate why he was in the hospital. I was going to suggest maybe nerves, but who knows? Hopefully it's nothing serious for him. The fact that he sounds like he's out of the hospital, that sounds good, but I don't want to, this guy, Farhan, he was always vague, and whatever he said, he would do the opposite. How about this year? We want to go with youth. And now he's saying we need to go with veterans next year. Well, make up your dang mind.
Hey, Dan, before you forget, have you gone to the Tragic and taken off another number for us?
Thank you.
No problem.
Let me check the Mets, the overall standings here and make sure I do the Tragic number correctly.
Just to get Laura fired up.
Yeah.
Let me get to the standings. Hold on here. I gotta get to the standings. MLB standings.
Yeah, they're up 2 now.
Hey, who is the most? You want to know something, guys? Who I think might be the most surprising team right now in baseball?
AL or NL?
I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to see if you know what I'm thinking.
Most surprisingly good or surprisingly bad?
Surprisingly in contention. And
Right,
Mark Graves just nailed it.
Detroit.
Kansas City?
They've won.
Detroit. Look at Detroit.
Yeah. Detroit. And they won at Kansas City. Big 3-game series.
Look at the wild card. They are a game and a half. Was this updated?
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Wait. Yes, it is.
No, because the Orioles lost. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And they won tonight in extra innings at Kansas City.
Yeah, they are only
3-1.
They're 3 games behind the Royals and only a game and a half behind the Twinkies. And the Twins have a pretty tough schedule. Tigers are coming. They've won how many in a row? 3 in a row, but 8 out of 10. Come on, Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson for the.
Is Torkelson even playing?
Yeah, he is. He's back up playing, and he's been on a hitting streak. Let's see how he did tonight on my fantasy team.
And Diamondbacks, boy, they're having a tough week. Thank God the Giants are playing them next weekend so they can get a couple W's.
Torkelson went 0 for 3. Did the Diamondbacks lose tonight? Diamondbacks
look at the National League
Colorado 8-2. Yeah, let's take a look at the National League.
For some reason, Colorado is tough.
Whoa, Nelly! Look at that! The
wow!
Wowzer! Wowzer! Okay, the Giants can win 84 games. The Mets only need to win 2. So the tragic number. We move over to the tragic number board, everybody. Let's move. Let's get a good clean look at the tragic number. Let me hold on here. I'm going to take my pen apart. It's going to get a little wild, the camera. All right, tragic number. We zero in. We knock off the 3, Lou.
Yep.
A loss.
And here's something that I know we only look at the wild card. Bora probably doesn't know it. But San Diego, because the Dodgers lost again today, they're only 3 games back.
Yeah. Of the Dodgers?
Yep.
Wow.
Tragic number, guys. There it is. And so far, hold on here. Sorry about the camera going crazy. I'm putting the.
You know what's crazy? I don't think one team has clinched.
Nope. Maybe Milwaukee. Did Milwaukee clinch tonight?
I don't think so.
Yeah, the shortest one was the Yankees were 3 games. Baltimore lost, so if they would have done, it would have been 1. Milwaukee, if they would have won tonight, they would have clinched, but they needed help, and they lost. So starting tomorrow, because they were 5 teams with magic numbers. 3
the celebrations. We'll see them this week, guys. We'll start seeing the celebrations. Let's take a look.
Celebrations to make the playoffs and then divisions.
Yeah. Now the tragic. Who sent me something? Let me see.
Have you guys checked out the Giants salary breakdown recently?
We talked the other day about not really salary breakdown, but who is under contract for next year.
With was that Kotz, Dan?
Yes.
Can we check it out again?
Sure. I'm trying to find something for you guys. I haven't got any.
Because the Padres are in the top of the 9th, 3-3. So if they win, it'll be 2.5. Imagine the Dodgers not winning the division.
Padres are losing right now, I think, to Houston.
Yeah, 3-3 Houston.
Yeah, 3-3. No, it's the end. It's 3-3 in the 9th inning.
Yep.
That's a good game.
Yeah. I'm looking. I've got the Farhan in a casket here from Mark Graves. I'm trying to blow it up, but I need to hold on here. Low battery.
And by the way, Dan, you might not have known this. Do you know who started the game tonight for Baltimore?
Yes, the
name ring a bell to you?
Albert Suarez,
former Giant.
Who hit Hanley Ramirez.
In fact, I think I was hearing he went to Korea, and then he played in the Mexican League, and then somewhere else, and now he came back, and he's had a decent year.
He's been all over, yeah.
Lester, stop it.
I want to look at this a little bit because, if you look at 2026 or 2025,
yeah.
So the payroll, I'm going to blow this up. The payroll this year is 216. But the CBT tax is 250. Because what the CBT is the average years.
Yep.
Okay, so 2025, the CBT.
Can you blow it up like you just had it perfect? Or even there you go. Thank you.
2025, it's at 168. So this year they were at 250. So they have around, if they want to spend around the same that they want to as last year, they have around, what is that, 80 million to play around with. And if there was a hypothetical Juan Soto signing, what's that going to be, like 60, 55,
55, 50.
So if they would sign Juan Soto, let's say it's 55, you now have, 25 million left to kind of supplement your whole team with? I don't know. If you're going to get a Juan Soto, you're going to have to spend north of 300 million, I think, because you can't just sign Juan Soto and hope that your team is better. You need to
300 million on top of what you signed Soto for. You're talking about?
No, you would have the whole CBT tax would have to
Oh yeah, be 300 million. Yeah, you're going to have to be up there with the Dodgers if you're going to try and compete.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how the Giants want to do that. It depends. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Aaron just said that the Farhan, the casket might not be the best of timing. Just saying, laughing out loud with him being in the hospital.
Oh man,
that might not be. Yeah, I do have we do have a picture of. It's a makeover. Look at that.
It looks pretty good.
Look at that, Bora.
Hey, wait.
There you go.
Wait.
Yeah. Wait, where'd it go?
Move it over a little bit.
There we go.
That's funny.
But
so, Bora, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you could either get two guys, right? Dan Shortstop from the Brewers.
Adonis.
And then you get Snell.
Mm-hmm.
Or you get Soto and you can't have the other two.
What is it again?
So either you get Soto or
Adames and Snell.
Snell.
That is tough.
That's a tough one because for a team, for the immediate, I would say Adames and Snell because that improves your team. But for the long run, I think you go with Soto because I think he's a type of guy that might attract other players.
Now, just remember, Kratman's been talking to other people about coming. I know that means a lot.
Talking.
Yeah.
I would say Soto just because with the Dames and Snell, those contracts are going to be like 4 to 5 years. I think. I don't think Adames is going to get a 10-year deal. Soto's going to get a 10-year deal. He's going to get a decade deal.
Oh, he's only 25, guys. Give him a 15-year deal.
And you got to remember who's representing Soto.
Yeah. Matthew says, I love the idea of signing someone who pretends they're 3 or 4 years younger than they say. That would be great. Got great character, right? I'm 25, even though I look 29. And I'm hitting the last month of the season here like I'm 29. I'm already wearing out. The guy's hitting one. You know what Soto's batting average is for the last month? How do I know this? Because he's ruining my fantasy team right now. His stats in the last month, he's had 98 at bats. He's hitting 204.
Sounds just like with the Giants. He sounds perfect to be a Giant.
In the last 2 weeks, he's hitting 190.
Yeah, he'll fit right in.
In the last week, he's 3 for 24, although he got 2 hits tonight.
Like I said, he fit right in with us.
He might be getting tired, being like he's 29, and he's been playing, since he was he's been in the league since what? 19 was his rookie year.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys think about this, really.
He's got all the guys in Washington.
All the guys from the Dominican, all the guys that had their ages discrepancy that they found out later. Now they're all from the Dominican Republic. Is that not a red flag to anybody?
I like what Marcus Tanner said. That's who Kratman's been talking to.
Let's see what Marcus. Oh, later, Ahmed and Connor Joe. Well,
unbelievable.
Yeah, not talking to
AJ.
I don't know, man.
Hey, Connor Joe's had a good career at Pittsburgh.
He had a good season in Colorado, I think, too.
Yeah,
a couple years ago.
Which also tells me a lot of these guys that we give up on, AK Bart, some of the guys we just released for pennies and peas had good success. That just tells you how Farhan sees talent out of his eyes is not that good.
Because he doesn't let them play.
Devon loves being in Houston.
Dubon is not like he's not your top of the lineup guy, but he's not one of your better hitters on the team, but he's a valuable asset to the Astros. I mean, he provides speed, he provides a good at bat.
Yeah.
He provides athleticism, defensive versatility, provides a lot. And I mean, you're stuck with a really unathletic team right now, which is one of the issues you've had for a long time. And you've made it out clear. You've said to everybody, you want to get more athletic, and you give away your guys that are athletic.
Interesting. Hey, Mike Rizzo, former or still current general manager or head guy of the Washington Nationals. He confronted Atlanta Braves announcer years ago when the announcer for the Braves, Joe Simpson, said Juan Soto's not really 19 when he came up. He's lying about his age, but then he later walked it back. There is some evidence that maybe Juan Soto's age is accurate. I don't know.
Dan, we'll get that for your chat. We'll have the chat buy you a Soto jersey. And that's what his name, we'll be able to breathe the name. He's really not 25. And then
on the back, Soto is 29.
Yeah.
What's the number of Juan Soto, by the way? What number does he wear in his jersey? I think he should come here and get number 29.
22?
What?
I think it is 22.
What's his number?
Not sure.
Let me see. He's playing in Seattle.
Where do you think Juan Soto ends up? I think he ends up with the Yankees.
Okay, let's say he doesn't end up with the Yankees. Give me one team.
Mets.
I don't know. I just looked at my.
I don't think what's the name's coming back for them.
I'm down 4 points tonight. I can't believe it. My batting average is falling apart. I'll climb back. Oh,
Alonso?
Yeah, Alonso.
I could see the Mets
batting like 212.
Alonso provides the home runs, though. That's the one thing he does.
Wow. 2-2-2-2-2-2-2. All right, man. I keep going back and forth. Well, hold on here. This is crazy. Okay.
Lou, I know you don't like Chapman.
I love him as defense. I've just so many times the guy cannot hit in the clutch.
What
high fastball, but he's the best thing we have. But that's not really saying much.
What would he have to do to get your approval to not call him Crapman anymore?
Bat 260.
Uh-huh.
And hit above 250 with runners scoring position. I mean, we're paying you the 150 million. You should earn it. It's not just defensively.
Do you think with a better team he would come through in the clutch more, or is that kind of just who he is?
Or look up his stats for the last 5 years, and he had protection in Toronto.
That is
he had
true.
Great years when he was with the A's, but look at the 4 years he was at Toronto.
Just his
Soto's 22. His number's 22. The jersey.
Just his regular stats,
just for the last couple of years.
Okay.
But if it offends you, Bora, for you, I will just call him Chapman. I have no problem.
No, it doesn't offend me at all. It's funny. It's just funny. Dan, you're muted.
I'll ask Soto for his ID.
Because I see him.
Mark Graves says his number's 22, but some people think it's 28 or 29.
He'll be lucky to hit 80 RBIs. He might have 27 homers, 80 RBIs. When you're the star player and everyone talks about you offensively, what a great year you had. That's not a great year to me, because there's so many other people that are better.
3-3, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs in San Diego, and Donovan Solano is coming up to the plate facing Josh Hader. A little extra bonus time here on NorCal Sports Network. There we go. Donovan Solano. So what are we looking at here?
In Toronto, look, he batted 229. 229 with 27 homers, 76 RBIs. The year before that, 210.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
So, again, when he was with Oakland, I thought he was like, oh, my God. He's like, he's like Brooks Robinson. This guy's amazing. The guy's hitting. I just think, and then, I think the one thing is maybe we're not thinking of is you got to remember who Chapman's agent is. Farhan always gets taken over toll, the 6-year deal. Why couldn't they have just done maybe 4 years? It's not like, his defense will still be there. But, I think the one thing, too, with the Giants, when you really look at our offense and you look at the veterans, Yaz is not on that stature. We don't really have anybody else. So Farhan either said, okay, we're going to lose him. We're going to hurt defensively, but we have nobody else. So,
I'm fine. I'm fine with keeping Chapman. I'm not I don't think the contract is great. I don't think it's a good contract, but I'm not going to say I'm mad at the Giants for extending him, because I think
I just thought an additional 6 years was a lot at his age.
Oh, it definitely is a lot. I mean, I think 400 would have been
perfect.
That would have been perfect. It's not perfect, but that would have been the right contract. I'm not gonna get on the Giants though, just because they extended him for another 2 years. I do want to see what they do in free agency, because I said before, I think the extra 2 years to make it a 6-year deal is a little interesting, just because I don't think any competent GM would give Chapman 6 years. I mean,
we were really his only competition. There was no other teams after him.
Exactly. That we know of, at least. And I mean, ownership has to sign off on these contracts too. So ownership was fine with paying him for 6 years. That makes me think a little bit that ownership might want to go for it for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, George says they have to overpay like the Niners did in 2017 when they had one of the worst rosters. Giants have a horrible roster.
No, I know. I mean, to me, there's nothing wrong with overpaying, because, I mean, the Giants have the money.
And it's not 25 a year for a solid third baseman. We don't even have a first baseman. That's why if we can get a first baseman, we pay him the same amount, then the Chapman deal looks fine to me. Maybe it's just, he's first in line. I'm a little bit more upset. But, the Giants' problem has not really been anything but hitting in the clutch, making just contact. And there's just too many times when the game's on the line.
Ooh.
And I can only remember one game this whole year, and that was against Miami two Fridays ago, where he hit in the 8th inning when he had a big 3-run trip. The rest of the time, he always doesn't come through. So
here comes big Yordan Alvarez. Guy reminds me of Willie McCovy.
That's better than you. Yeah, let me more look at it. So now
Where's
already in the top inning then?
Yeah, top of the he looks like McCovy to me. Jake says, "Why are you showing this game? No offense. Is it because you think the Giants still have a chance?" Jake, if you've listened any time to this network, we put the fork in the Giants 3-4 weeks ago. We knew the Giants have no chance. We're watching this because we like baseball.
That's why we had the number.
And it's a good game. We don't get good baseball here, George. I mean, not George, but Jake. Jake, we don't get good baseball. So to watch good baseball, we put good games on. We talk about this has nothing to do with anything other than this is a meaningful game for the National League West division and potentially a wild card. I want to see how this. I like watching good games. I mean, this is like this is like a that's funny. Okay, here slow grounder to first. He gets him. Okay, I want to see Jackson Merrill come up in. Okay, so we're in the 10th. That's right. We got the fake runner. He went over to third with a slow grounder to first. So I want to see Jackson Merrill come up and do something because, man, my team lost 4 points tonight in the live standings. I can't believe it.
Everyone on this chat, and me and Bora, you're the only one that cares. When is your playoffs finally done for fantasy baseball?
When the season ends.
Oh, my God. So we got – all right.
So there's a base hit. Houston takes the lead 4-3. So the Padres are going to have – but the Padres, don't they do this? They come back and win. Isn't it them in Arizona that do these crazy when they get behind?
No, that's Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to come through.
Yeah. Well, Bora's getting he's got some homework to do, I think.
I do. I have a geography quiz tomorrow.
And so we're going to let Bora go. We're going to hang out here for another 25 minutes or so, and we'll call it a night at 10 o'clock here. But Bora, we're going to let you go. Thanks for joining.
And thanks for bringing that stat up. We have 80 million to look forward to. Of course, some of that might be signing people. But
roughly 80 million.
Yeah.
Roughly 80 million. Okay.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right, Bora.
Thanks, Bora.
Have a good one. Yeah. All right. So we go to we're in the top half of the 10th down in San Diego.
Where does Bora go to college?
He is down in Orange County at a community college. I can't remember the name of it now.
So he's by Disneyland, by the Angels.
He's not far from there. Yeah. Might be Orange Coast or something. I'm not sure.
I know Orange County pretty well.
I do too. I love Orange County. It's a really good place.
One of my clients just bought that in a city called Dana Point, the Waldorf Astoria.
Yeah. I used to live down near Orange County myself. Okay, there's base hit, almost a diving stop at shortstop to maybe get the runner at second, but the Astros have first and second with one out, and this guy named Morjohn is pitching. Looks like More Hits, his name should be. More Hit. Not Morjohn, his name's More Hit.
Like it.
Interesting. Yes, I agree, Ryan. 9:58. We'll do it. Here comes the manager Stilt. He's going to the bullpen. Let me see what else is. happening in sports here. Let's see. I'm just trying to read some stats here. Let's see. What did we find here?
Hey, Dan, I know we didn't have a show yesterday, but while you're doing that, I thought I'd ask the chat, big injury news with the Niners.
Yeah, with Debo.
Yeah, and I heard Larry today. They had Larry on with Papa 1:30 to 2. He was really good, like always, with the Niners.
Right.
And he told everybody, guys, take a step back, relax. This is the weekend. You'll see the Niners we find. He was saying people are jumping off cliffs. You guys, sort of how we talked about the Giants when they won 8 in a row. We said, guys, there's still 5 more months. It's a marathon. Just like the Niners. You guys got to remember, it's a 17-game season. They are going to lose. They're going to have ups and downs. And Correct. It's better to have problems early in the season. And people seem to forget, the Niners last year and the year before, it wasn't like they were 17-0. We had problems. We had to come through to get in the playoffs. And it's how you're playing at the end of the season, not the beginning. And we talked about this with Dan. The first 3 weeks of the season really is the preseason for the starters. That's why you see so many upsets, so many problems.
True.
Perfect example last night is if you saw the Philly game against Arizona, where Philly scored, 150 left. Everyone was celebrating, especially if you bet the game. Oh, my God, I'm going to cover. Cousins, 4 passes, boom, they scored. It was the most amazing thing. But that's what you see in the first 3 weeks. I saw a stat that the first 3 weeks and the first 2 weeks of college football and NFL, that's why casinos are built. Last weekend, ending last night, the casinos made more money because so many teams bet the chalk than they did the last 6 months combined.
Hey, I'm out in two survivor pools. I picked Cincinnati first week. Other pool, made it to week 2, picked Philly last night.
And if you guys think the Niner fans are bad, you should see the interviews after the Philly game last night. Unbelievable. They already want the coach fired. They're 1-1. My God. And the other thing nobody talked about with Philly, you got to remember, guys, they played in Brazil. So they had to come all the way back. You lose 2 days. And then, you go a Monday night game.
Yeah. I messed up.
And brutal bettors. Mark Graves, like I said, they said they made more money this weekend. The other thing, too, is too many people, and I admit I play the horses. I bet very, very small on football games. I bet more on college. I don't really bet pros. But too many people, they adapt. Last weekend, Notre Dame, that line was 9.5 against Purdue. It was 16.5 the week before. They lose to Northern Illinois, and they went winning by 50.
Look at this, guys. 27 likes.
The chat likes.
27, guys. I got to remind everybody every night. Let's get those. We got over 70 watching right now, right here on YouTube, plus another 50 plus more on X. Let's push those likes up. It really does push. What YouTube does is it pushes the likes. The more likes there is, they push it out so more people see the channel. And then we get more coverage, which would be great. So hit that like button. There it goes. Boom. Like the 32. I love it, guys. Thank you. 33 now. Let's keep it going. Let's see if we can get that thing over 50. 33. Let's see. Get it clear. There we go. Hit that thing to 50. Just hit the X while you're watching on your phone or on your computer. Just go over to the like button, hit that little thumbs up, and man, it can just help the show. It really does. We really appreciate it because we try and give you a couple of hours every night. And
I try to do it, but then Kamala's always asking for $5.
I know.
Crook.
All right. I know everybody's not going to hit the like, but I wish everybody would. That would be, I don't know what it is. Maybe some people maybe they don't like it and they don't like us or me and they don't want to like it.
You know, one of your buddies, Eddie KS24, brought up a good point.
What's that one? Dan, I haven't even heard you say please once. I think I say, don't I usually say please? I think I do, but if I didn't, I'm sorry. Please. I think I say it all the time, don't I? Please hit the like. Please. I didn't get dinner tonight, Lou, and I'm going to eat right now. I'm going to take a bite of a sandwich.
I've been doing a thing where I've been having this urge. I found this place that has the best taco salads. Oh,
yeah?
And they have the taco shell, and then the dressing is champagne dressing. And then what they do is they add like Dorito chips in the taco salad. Oh, just tremendous. Tremendous.
I don't want to eat while I'm going here, so I'm just going to hit my stop cam, okay?
Right. No, Dan, so I just want to ask the chat, are you guys worried about the game against the Rams, since we're talking a little Niner football? You know, I think it's very important that I think the Niners are fine. You know, you got to remember, we're going against the Rams. Guys, the Rams have lost their two wide receivers. And they lost one of the linemen. This is where the Niners are going to get healthy. You know? Yeah, I don't know what happened with Dan. Dan, people are upset. Where are the compliments?
You mean the completes? The completes that I used to have. Yeah, the old
do they still make them?
I think they do. I ran out.
You ran out.
Yeah. I ran out.
I think, MF brings up a good point. This is the problem. We talk about Farhan a lot where, he doesn't try to close the deal. I think you got to blame the 49ers front office. They could have gotten some of these deals done, but when you miss preseason, Ayuk, Ayuk right now is maybe 65% of where he should be. If you hang around, you got to get in players' shape. It's hard. Plus, you got to remember he went to ASU, so his education's not too bright. He didn't really need that. He thinks he's better than he is. But, Ayuk, I think the good thing, guys, if you guys listen during ball games, Larry Krueger has the 49er Hour on KNBR, and he talks about all this. Ayuk's first of all, he was horrible opening game. He dropped that one play.
Right.
Game two, they only had 4 receptions. They tried to get the ball to him, they said 15 times, but he doesn't have the breakaway speed right now. So literally he's sort of been useless. It's one of those things. I'm not sure why they're not using Kittle more. I think this weekend, I think what this also brings is people are finally realizing how great CMC is. When you lose a player like that, the first game back, Mason was great, but he's no CMC because he runs the ball good, but CMC was always another outlet. And he could catch that ball like you've never seen. Unbelievable. Griffin, I completely agree. Horrible education. Are you a bear downer? Is that what you tried to spell? That's what I like, Griffin. Don't worry. Basketball starts in 6 weeks. We'll be back. But the CMC offense, beside running, just him catching the ball, I didn't realize, Dan, 39 touchdowns in 33 games.
I know. He's a touchdown machine.
Unbelievable. So when you lose a player like that, and then you have a guy that holds out, Of course. And if you guys saw Dan's show 2 weeks ago, I told you guys the Niners are going to struggle. You know, I told this year they'll be lucky to be 11-6. You know, you have all these distractions. Nobody's talked about the pressure of Brock since he's going to be probably the highest paid player next year. You know, the linemen, McDonald's are gone, CMC, all these distractions. It's going to be tough. I told you guys the team that's going to be tough, and everyone kept saying you're nuts. I told you Seattle. Seattle has a defense that can stop us. You know, the Niners right now are getting lucky for one reason. We're playing the Rams where they are literally in bad shape. So,
Um,
and Aaron, I'm not Donnelly lost. The Rams are thinking the same thing about the Niners. Now, the Rams are just trying to come up with a game plan. You know, they got a decent running game, but they have no wide receivers at all. When you lose your two studs, who, by the way, the Rams' two wide receivers, you can't even hold either one's jock. That's how good they were. Okay?
Rams losing Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Tough blow.
Yeah.
And you know what? I do think, to answer Marcus Tanner, I think Conley gets the majority of the snaps for Debo. You could see some Ronnie Bell in there. Of course, you're going to see more Jennings. But you know what? He gets some separation because he's got some speed. Ayuk has looked terrible. Kevin Kruger put out a little tweet the other day that said he had the third worst separation.
Yeah, separation. I saw that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you know, one of those things. But, you know, guys, relax. The Niners it's a long way to go. Long
Definitely.
season. You know, it's, you know, again.
Here it is, Tuesday night.
I think the guy they should be using a little bit more, who is small and he's quick. I know he dropped the punt the other day, but I've seen Jacob Counting play.
Counting, yeah. I love that kid.
Counting, Jacob is says 5'10", but he's more 5'8". When he was at Arizona, and again, I'm being a little bit biased, when he got the ball, the run after catch was amazing. He never got touched by 3 or 4 yards. He's sneaky. He is lightning fast. I think that's, you know, that could be our missing ingredient. And I hope next weekend when I'm talking here, guys, after a Giants loss to Arizona.
Oh, there's a ground ball up the middle. Oh, wow.
I'm talking to you guys about Counting.
First and third, Padres had no outs in the bottom of the 10th. And the infield was playing in for the Astros. And Arias was up and he hit a one hopper over the mound. The shortstop came in, grabbed it, looked the runner back at third, and then turned around and flipped it to second base for the out. So it's still first and third. So the Padres, if they get a DP, they just brought in.
It was 4-1. Now it's 4-3.
Yeah, it's 4-3 in the 10th.
All right.
Bottom of the 10th. Padres have first and third with one out. Arias couldn't get it done. He's mad. He just threw his helmet in the dugout.
I like players like that. They show a little emotion. Giants don't do that.
Yep. So now
but I'm hoping next week they give Cowing a chance. We talk about him, that he was the difference. You know, maybe he can get a touchdown, you know, a couple receptions, and we'll see. And if he makes a mistake and he's wrong, I'll admit it. We do that on NorCal Sports Network. But at least we take a chance.
0-2 to Tatis. Runner was going on the pitch, trying to stay out of a double play.
And they need a fly ball to tie.
And Houston wants a strikeout here. Wow. Let's see if he can get it done, Tatis. 0-2. Oh, he swung and missed at ball 3, or at a ball out in the dirt. Wow.
It happens. Yeah. Plus the one thing.
Look at that. Look at this.
Oh, yeah, the old
Oh.
slider out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So who's it up to? Batting third for the Padres.
Is it Manny?
Let's see.
Doesn't he bat third? Or is Tatis leading off?
No, Tatis was batting second. Oh, he hit him.
Just hit him.
Bases loaded now.
For Manny. Did that hit him or did he get out of the way?
He's acting like he doesn't want it to be hit. He wants to bat.
No, or is the Astro coach saying he wasn't hit?
I don't know. It looked like Profar is.
Did he get out of the way too quick? Oh, they're challenging that he got hit.
I don't know who's challenging.
Guys, we're giving you live action here on NorCal Sports Network.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It missed him.
He got out of the way. Yep, it was sort of like the typical umpire. They called the play before it happened.
Let's see if they look it over. Yeah. So we'll let you know. I don't know. I kind of want to see the Padres win. So
yeah,
it makes
it down to 2.5.
Yeah, I want to see a tight division. It would be kind of fun to see LA scramble and.
Yeah, the Dodgers right now have big problems with pitching. Even though they got Yamamoto, he's still going to be a while.
They gave up 11 runs tonight to Florida or Miami or whatever they're called.
And Tom, it's Lou, L-E-W, not L-E-E like Lee, but it's Lou. I attended University of Arizona. Tom, where did you attend?
Oh, you went to U of A?
Yeah.
That's why you're a big Wildcat fan.
Yep.
Okay. So is it all okay? Always
all over.
Always alma mater over Cal and Stanford.
I was at the craziest game ever when Cal and Arizona went 6 overtimes. That's why they created the overtime rule, because of that game.
Yeah. So were you there when Steve Kerr was there?
I was there. Chuck Cecil, Tolbert. I knew Steve more from after.
They're saying Profar got hit. They put him on base.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Those guys in New York are sleeping. It's 12:53, or they're listening to the NorCal Sports Network, and they're dead tired.
Right. We got to end this, Manny. Get a big hit, and then
Tom. God, I wanted you guys to beat the Utes the other day. You guys played tough. I love your basketball program. Tough place to play.
So Arizona, Utah State.
So I was there. In fact, it's so funny with Sean Elliott. The pitch to Manny. Oh, almost hit him again.
Wow, 1-0. Who's pitching? Neris. This ain't the same Neris that was with the Cubs, is it?
Could be. Yeah, Griffin, bear down. The 1-0 pitch. Play's going crazy. Outside. Oh, God.
That was there. That was there.
Are you sure?
Yeah, right in the box. I don't want to keep
a guy that just hit somebody and one inside. You got to earn it a little bit.
He got it in the box. It was there. I just don't want to have it too much.
The pitch down the line. Or is it foul ball?
Foul. Wow. 1-2 advantage pitcher.
Yep.
You always want the 2-0, 3-1 count. I always loved batting when I hated batting getting down 0-2. What's going to happen? Up the middle. Oh, he got him at the bag. Oh my goodness, a great play. Oh, wow. I thought it was up the middle for a base hit. Oh, dang.
Close play at second.
Are they going to review it at second?
Yeah, I thought they got him.
I think he got him. I had my camera too low. I didn't. Wow, he hit it so hard. Profar. Oh, he's mad. Wow. He's mad at the umps. Let's see a replay. Here it is. Oh, was he on the bag? What was did he come across? I think he did. What are they arguing? Let's.
You scored 2 in the 10th, and you try to win it.
Yeah, they couldn't get the run across. Yeah, he's out. Yep, he was out. Whoa, Profar not happy. Yeah, Tatis didn't make any contact.
Took Hader out because he wasn't doing the job.
Well, no, Hader pitched the 9th. They usually don't pitch them the second inning.
Oh, okay.
He pitched the 9th.
I just saw he got the win.
Well, guys, that wrapped up the final game of the night, I believe. Let me see is there any other games going on right now? Let's take a quick peek.
Never a problem, Tom.
They're all final. Wow. I did not have a.
So now it goes to 3.5.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing, too, is the Dodgers. Let me see this. They go to Arizona, I think, for 3. And the Marlins are always a tricky team at home. You know, let's see the Dodgers' remaining schedule. Yeah, see, so they play Miami twice. Then they play Colorado at home 3 times. But then they San Diego for 3, and then San Diego ends 3 in Colorado.
Yeah. So
I mean, that division, they're going to have to win 96 games to win the division. Just to win the division. And here are the giant idiots. Oh, we're 500. You're still 15 games worse, even if you are 500, you idiots.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Lou, I think we got to get out of here, beat the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, no problem.
Guys, it was fun. We got some Giants talk in here. We got some Soto talk.
How are the likes? Did we get more likes with that action?
How are our likes? Let me see. Let me turn us back on here and see what we got. Oh, we only got 41, guys. 41.
Right.
Come on. Before we get out of here, we got 85 seconds left. We got to be out. Let's get those likes up. 41. Let's get those up over 50, please. 60, please. Would be great. Just hit the like button. It'd be great to end the show with, see, it's at 41.
Yeah, still at 41. Marcus, I was there with Chuck Cecil with the game against ASU when he returned it 107 yards. I was also at the game my freshman year when Max Zendejas kicked a 58-yard field goal to knock ASU out of the Rose Bowl.
I know Max Zendejas.
He was the first of the Zendejas brothers. He was the best.
I know the Zendejas brothers. I went to they were from Chino, California, where I lived.
It was at old Tempe Stadium where. Now, one of these nights, guys, we'll talk. I'll tell you a little bit about my job. I'll tell you about some of the people I've met through U of A and my work. And, hit the like button, subscribe. Dan's got a lot of stuff pulled up, guys. $5 a month.
All right, everybody.
That's one latte.
Love it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Catch us tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, tomorrow morning, 10:30. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.